What's up everyone, so let's window mod this slim PS2. Stay tuned. Let's start with the basic tools and supplies needed for this mod. Soldering iron, solder, superglue, small Phillips and flathead screwdrivers, X-Acto knife, pencil, scissors, wire cutters, wire, LEDs, I used one 5mm green, a resistor, I'm using a 100 ohm, a rotary tool with a cutting disc, jeweler's files, masking tape, a ruler, a bit of window screen. I'd also recommend some 220 grit sandpaper, and you will also need some spray paint if you plan on painting. Links can be found in the description. So you will need to take apart the PS2. It's pretty simple, just 6 screws on the bottom. They are hidden under covers and I'm missing a few of them. Once you have your top case off, I added some masking tape to draw out my cut. Now I just cut a huge rectangle, which I should know better by now. Squares and rectangles hand cut, they never look straight. Anyways, the largest cut that can be made without compromising being able to put the console back together in a stock fashion is shown here. You will need to leave a 1/2 inch all the way around, so your design needs to fit within this square. Now you can use your masking tape in the same way as before to cut your disk drive cover, but the underneath has a nice template and I'm just going to use these lines and circles to freehand my cut. This is what I ended up with. You can go as crazy as you want, just keep some area to attach the screen later. Once you're happy with your cuts, this would be a great time to paint, which is what I ended up doing. But to paint well, you will need to remove all the bits and pieces from the shell. I've marked what I removed: 2 screws, 2 springs, 2 metal bits, the 3 front buttons, and 2 memory card covers, which also have little springs that easily pop out. There is only one thing that needs to be removed from the bottom shell if you plan on painting that also, this IR cover, which just needs to be pried off. I ended up breaking it, but it's all good. Now, I couldn't go the traditional plexiglass route with this console. As you can see, there just isn't any room. Flush mounting would be possible, but for that you'd need the precision of a laser cutter, which is something I don't have. Same goes for the top disk drive cover. Very little room. You definitely want the disk to spin when you put them in there. So to solve this problem, I decided to use some window screen. It's super easy to work with, and you can even paint it if you'd like. It does have its pros and cons, should keep the console cooler, but it will allow dust in, not to mention you'll be able to hear the fan a bit more than before. Cut your screen size and fix it in place with a bit of super glue. Here's what mine ended up looking like when I was done. You can also use an X-Acto knife to help with the trimming. Now, in case you forgot where everything goes, which I did after waiting 24 hours for the paint to dry, here's some quick shots that should help you with that. Now, if you do end up painting, don't make the same mistake I did, which was painting the moving parts, particularly the eject button. You can paint half of it, but don't paint all of it. Another area you don't want to paint is the hinges on the disk drive cover. Luckily, I was able to remove the paint with some Q-tips and rubbing alcohol, but it's better to just mask these off and avoid the headache. Also, don't forget about this spring. If you do, you'll think you broke it or question if it ever opened on its own. Okay, so there isn't a lot of room in the console to add things like lights, at least not cleanly. So I just took one 5mm wide angle LED and superglued it in place. In person, this is bright enough to see, but on camera, it's barely visible. You could definitely add some more if you'd like, but I didn't want to go crazy. Maybe that'll change later. If you had watched my video on adding LEDs to the controller ports, then you already know where I attached my LED. But if you didn't, here's the pins I used. Don't forget to add a resistor so you don't burn out your LED. That's it, just put your console back together and admire your work. I think it came out pretty well, all things considered. I actually accidentally removed a capacitor on the bottom of the board that I was luckily able to fix with a bit of help from some fellow modders. So you guys should follow me on Twitter. It gets you somewhat behind the scenes. Not everything makes it to a video. One other thing I wanted to talk about was I didn't add an LED to the disk drive side. This is because of the limited space. I had wanted to do it like I had done it on a GameCube, but the spots I wanted to place the LEDs wouldn't allow the case to go back together. I'm not saying it's not possible to add some lights, I just didn't want to make a mess of this case. Thanks for watching, be sure to like, subscribe, and share. These things help me out a lot. Follow me on Twitter at TechnoOnTop for sneak peeks and other modding stuff. If you're hungry for more mods, check out my other videos, and until next time, peace.